as our presenter here, Mr. Scott Miller.
Woohoo! Scott Miller!
Hey, Kelly, how are you doing?
Okay. Hey, Scott Miller. Glad to have you onto the line and doing our presentation today.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be ready to get rolling whenever you are.
Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and get going. Hold on, let me check the time. We've got the webinar set up, and everyone gets paid weekly.biz is the place to be. That's www.everyonegetspaidweekly.biz. You can watch the webinar. And sorry, I got a little music in the background. Having a Mother's Day luncheon right now, but that's the beauty of having a home-based business. We are out here having a lunch with like several moms, and this is why I have a home-based business. And so you guys got to realize what excites you to have a home-based business, making more money than, grind it out at a 9 to 5. Hey, do it if you love it. Okay, great. Now here at TelexFREE, we have an opportunity here to make income from home in our spare time, part-time. I've even taken it on full-time. And I want to tell Mr. Scott Miller, I tell you, he is a power hitter in the industry. He's worked online for many, many years, and I've seen him. And you know what? He's a serious, serious player as far as taking TelexFREE serious. And I'm so glad to have you on board with TelexFREE, and you bring tremendous, tremendous knowledge to this industry. And I look forward to meeting you and riding TelexFREE and making money with you, Scott Miller. So tell us how people can make money with TelexFREE and how they can get going today.
I would love to, and thank you for that introduction. I look forward to meeting you as well. We've kind of crossed paths a few times over the years, and I always love seeing what you're doing. You're always just incredibly positive and informative, and I really have a lot of respect for the way you do things. Again, thank you very much, Kelly, for that introduction, and let's get rolling. And I know I'm what I do a webinar, I do it a little bit differently. I've kind of done a hybrid of the presentation that I do along with Randy's. So if you have seen this before, you're going to see it a little bit differently, not a lot. But I do, for those of you who are new, this is really, really for somebody invited you here because they want you to see what is here for you, what not might be here for you, but what is definitely here for you. And I suggest you get yourself comfortable, put your seatbelts on, because if you aren't familiar with TelexFREE, you're in for a heck of a little journey here. And I always like to start by asking a simple question, and that is whether or not it's possible to join an opportunity and start out with under $500 and be able to build to close to $17,000 a year. And you can see the rest of the numbers here. All of this within a year and without ever sponsoring or selling anything. And I think you're going to see that the answer to that question is a definite yes. Because, folks, I know if you're on this webinar and you're probably like most people, you've been searching and looking for an opportunity, like Kelly was talking about, for a way to work from home. I mean, isn't that incredible? She is at a get-together like all of us love to do. She didn't have to take time off work to do it. She basically had to take a few minutes off from the get-together to say, hey, guys, I'll be back with you in just a second. Jumped on her phone, and that's her work day. That is amazing. That is the American dream, and your search is over because we found it for you, and hopefully you are going to see exactly that as we go through this. TelexFREE is a 13-year-old company. The company behind TelexFREE is 13 years old. They've been marketing the technology you're about to be exposed to for 13 years. They just launched the MLM branch just over a year ago, and in the first year, they were able to create over $20 million earners. Now, I'm not aware of that ever having been done before. And you're able to create that income, and you're going to see this through this without sponsoring if you choose to do it that way. Of course, that option's there for you, and you'll make more money. But without selling the pills and juices and lotion, or none of that you're used to seeing. And this means you get paid. Now, we all understand what we're looking for in a company when we look for an opportunity, but ask yourself, how are over 1 million people attracted to a company to join it within a year? And obviously, we all do this to make money. But you're about to see the reason we're able to attract that many people, and the reason it is easy to sponsor here, if that's what you choose to do, is because we can assure that you're going to make an income. And I want you to ask yourself, I'll bet 100% of the people on this webinar have joined an opportunity in the past and never made a dime. I know that's probably true because over 95% of the people that join an opportunity, home-based business, work at home, whatever, never make more than they spend on it. And that's huge. That's amazing that's been going on since the early days of Amway for 50 years. And I'll bet a lot of you, if you have in the past, have you ever been to those or seen the videos of those conventions, those home business network marketing conventions in the hotels? We're having one this weekend, as a matter of fact. And they're really cool. They're powerful. They get you pumped up. And at some point in the conference, someone gets up on stage, raises their hand, and goes, "Hey, who all is making money?" And some hands go up, everyone cheers, and it's so cool. But you know what you've never seen any of them do? Say, okay, raise their hand up in the air and say, okay, now, who's not making money in this opportunity? And the reason they don't do that is because they can't. Because the number of hands that would go up with that second question would dwarf the number of hands that go up with the first question. Well, folks, we're having that convention in Orlando this weekend. Someone could get up on stage, and I hope they do, and ask that. Who else is not making money with TelexFREE? And not a single hand is going to go up. I want you to think about that for a second. Not a single hand would go up, and that is the power of the opportunity that you're about to see. Now, why is it that I mentioned over 90% of the 95% of the people that join a home-based business never make money? And it's because you have to convince someone to buy what you're selling. And if you think about it, kind of your financial life depends on them saying yes, doesn't it? Because if they say no, you don't make money. You have to get those people to say yes, and that's what kills everybody. With TelexFREE, the whole paradigm of that is switched around. You're doing someone a favor because you're not telling them to join an opportunity to make an income. You're asking them simply if they want an income, because an opportunity means there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to happen. Well, that isn't here, and that's why we have the solution here for you. And the solution is that literally everyone is paid weekly, period. And that means for once you are paid. Not everyone but you, not everyone that gets Spill, not everyone that follows or gets into the co-op, or not everyone that gets two. So this means you get paid weekly. Now let's talk about for a second what TelexFREE is. We are a media company, a telecommunications company that pays its affiliates to place ads for them and advertise the service. And that enables us to finally be a company where everyone profits. As long as you place your little ad every day, you are going to profit. Folks, this is the answer that you need, because it's incredibly simple. You place your ads, you get paid. No more complicated than that. Now, why do they do that? Why on earth would TelexFREE pay you to place ads for them? Well, for the same reason that you could be driving down the road tomorrow and see a park bench with Coca-Cola on it. No one's maybe going to run out and buy a Coke just because they see that park bench. But the more people you get your name in front of, the more your company's name comes to mind. Well, that's the exact concept here. The more people they have placing ads for them, the more people obviously are going to start recognizing the name of TelexFREE, and that's worked out pretty well. We've had over 1 million people join us as affiliates. The user numbers dwarf that. Now, if you can't or don't feel like you can place ads, it is as copying and pasting. And if you don't know how to do that, still no worries. Whomever brought you here, well, I'm sure would be happy to show you how to copy and paste. It is the simplest thing you have ever done online. And we even provide the ads for you. We provide the sites for you to advertise that. So it's literally copy, paste, click, you're done. Now, what are we advertising? The TelexFREE, the way I like to describe it, TelexFREE is like Vonage, Magic Jack, and Skype rolled into one package that has a software application that you can download onto your computer, use it just like you would some of the other services for screen sharing, conference calling, obviously contacting people overseas. But there's a different twist to it, or a different addition to it, and that is that you can use it right from your cell phone, your home phone, and, as I said, from your computer. I've got team members in Canada and Mexico. All I do to call them is pick up my cell phone, dial my access number. My number is loaded into TelexFREE as a retail user. So then I just enter the area code, the number, and bazinga, I'm talking overseas, and my phone bill, cell phone bill, does not reflect that. And that is incredible. Now, let's talk about who TelexFREE is. TelexFREE is actually the marketing arm of the company that provides this technology, Impactus. Impactus has been around for 13 years selling this voice over internet protocol. They kind of know what they're doing. TelexFREE is the multi-level marketing arm. That launched in 2012 in Brazil. Now, the company is headquartered here in the U.S., but they launched the marketing in Brazil in 2012, and I kind of gave you a quick overview of what they've accomplished in that time. Our president and founder is a gentleman by the name of James Merrill. And folks, looking at what he has done for the home-based marketing world, I look at him not simply as a company president, but virtually as a visionary in the home-based business industry, because he's changed the entire way it's going to work, and I think changed home-based business forever. Now, how does this work? Okay, how in 14 months have we grown to 1 million people? Well, what they have done is all of these people have contracts to earn with TelexFREE. All right? What you do is enter, everyone joins, and we'll get to that in a second. Everyone joins as a partner, but then you have the option to purchase contracts, either an Ad Central, what's called an Ad Central, or an Ad Central family. Those agreements assure you that if you place your daily ads, you get your weekly pay. It's that simple. Now, let's talk about that a little bit more in depth. You have two ways to earn here, okay? And unlike most opportunities, we're going to talk mainly about your individual earnings, because that's what each and every one of you on this webinar has the choice to participate in. Not the opportunity for, because again, opportunity is a little ambiguous, isn't it? An opportunity, I think, means there's a chance it might not happen. Choice is different. You have a choice to participate in this. And then we're also going to talk about how you can earn as a team when you do start sharing this with people. Now, when you join, you're going to plug yourself into a marketing system that, like I said, allows you to market online, shows you where to place the ads, how to place the ads, and then how to get paid. To start with, though, let's start with the basic entry level, which is called a partner. Everyone starts as a partner. That costs you $50, and that gives you the ability to be paid basically a 10% commission when an individual purchases that TelexFREE 99 package that I mentioned. The cost of that's $4.99, so you're going to make. The cost of that's $49.90, so you're going to make $4.99. 10%, not a bad gig. But would you rather make a 90% commission? I mean, I know I kind of would. And would it be pretty cool if you were able to make money even if you didn't make a sale that week? What about if you didn't make a sale ever? Okay, that's why we're all here, isn't it? You simply buy an annual contract. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what is available here in those annual agreements, okay? And again, there's two basic levels that you can join at, what's called an AdCentral and an AdCentral family. Let's talk about someone named Mary. Mary joins as a partner and upgrades to the AdCentral. That's going to be an additional cost of $289. What that does is puts 10 of the TelexFREE 99 packages in her inventory, and she starts placing her ads. She places a single ad every day, copy and paste them, and when people buy from her ads, she makes that 90% commission I told you about. And very key here, and we'll get to this a little bit more, but you can purchase as many AdCentral packages as you choose. You receive, for placing that daily ad, you receive a free retail package each week as compensation. And again, you sell it and make 90%. But if you don't sell it, the company the following week is going to buy it back from you for $20. Now, think about what that means. That means that you're assured of $87 every month, or for a year, that comes out to about $1,040. And folks, that's minimum earnings. Okay? Let's talk about Mike. Mike is going to start as a partner, as Mary did, and upgrade to an AdCentral family. Now, that means an upgrade of $1,375, and that gives him 50 TelexFREE packages in his back office. And again, just like Mary, he places ads every day, but he's placing 5. So at the end of each week, he's receiving 5 of the TelexFREE packages. Again, he sells them, makes a 90% commission. He doesn't sell them, the company's going to buy them back for $20 each. That's an average of $430 a month, or $5,200 a year, folks, and that's minimum earnings. What else is available to you here? Let's talk about someone who's really committed. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can purchase as many of the packages as you would like. Well, you can also join at what's called a team builder package. Now, this is something you can join at or build up to. Basically, what that means is you're an AdCentral family, just like Mike was, and then you either purchase or sponsor 10 AdCentral families directly under you. All right? Now, they give you a break for doing this. You place just one ad for each family. But now, if you make no sales, just as before, your minimum earnings are going to be about $4,800 per month. That works out to almost $60,000 a year. And you also get to participate in a 2% revenue share for the company. Folks, again, that's minimum earnings. Now, we've just gone through, we haven't talked about sponsoring anyone. We haven't talked about building a team. We have talked about what is right in front of you to say yes or no to, because there is no if about it. There is no if come maybe. It is a definite. Everything so far is no sponsoring, no selling any of the stuff that you've heard for in the past. But now I know I keep saying you can buy additional contracts, and that's pretty cool, but I know everyone has their own limits. So let's talk about what is available here if you do choose to invite people to join you. And you've got so many resources available to you in the way of marketing, your upline to help you. All of that is in place simply to help you build a larger group. Now, how does that work? Well, you join. When someone joins you as an Ad Central, let's say Bob, you earn $20. Someone joins you as an Ad Central family, which is actually the most popular place that people join at, you make $100. Pretty cool. And you make that every time someone joins directly into you, either 20 as an Ad Central or 100 as an Ad Central family. But something really cool happens. When you join, TelexFREE puts you in what's called a binary matrix pay plan. Let's explore what happens here, okay? They place you at the top of your own little empire, and when the company sees that you have a Ad Central on your left, and of course, as you said, you made $20, and an Ad Central on your right, which you made $20 for, when the company sees that you may have a left and a right, and then a retail user under you as well, you make a $20 cycle bonus. And the company just looks for that left-right cycle, regardless of where they came from, and that's key. Let's say now Bob sponsors Paula, and Bill sponsors Rita. That's your left and your right, isn't it? So who gets the $20 cycle bonus? You do. And again, and folks, that binary pay aspect of the pay plan is through infinity. All the computer is looking for is someone to appear on your left, someone to match them up to on your right, and you get paid. And as I said, that goes through infinity. However deeply those left rights come from, you make the cycle bonus. It doesn't stop there. That was for an Ad Central. Now, I told you before, the most popular place people join is an Ad Central family. And we talked about you make $100. Pretty cool. But what happens when the computer sees that you've got a retail customer and it sees you now with left and right? Now you make a total of an $80 cycle bonus. And again, it doesn't matter where those come from. If the person on your right sponsors Paula, person on your left sponsors Rita, you got the left right, you get the cycle bonus. Again, it doesn't matter. All the computer is looking for is someone on your left, someone to marry them to on your right, you get paid. Now, there is everything has a catch, and there is a catch to this. Since it is through infinity, the system will only allow you to make just over $15,000 per day on this one aspect of the pay plan. I want you to sit, that's kind of disappointing. You can't make $20,000 a day from this aspect of the pay plan. But if that's a problem for you, you probably don't need to be here in the first place if you don't need $50,000 a day or $15,000 a day. But we're not done yet. You're also paid 5 levels deep on the retail purchases of your downline. And this is a retail-based opportunity because, folks, if you look at the product, and if you're here in the U.S. or virtually wherever you are, the last however long, 20 years or so, we're a lot smaller world. People move around a lot. If you're here in the U.S., we are an immigrant nation. You know somebody, you know a lot of people who could desperately use a method to phone to wherever they may have immigrated to the U.S. from. It's a very valuable service, and as such, the retail aspect and the retail overrides of the pay plan are massive as well. But let's look, my favorite part of this entire pay plan is a petty little 2%. That means everyone that you invite, 6 levels deep, you're earning 2% of their earnings for having placed those weekly ads. Now, whenever I explain this part of the pay plan, I like to talk about a conversation I had, and I make up a name. The name I use is Bill, with a guy. And he snuffed this off. He told me that he wasn't going to do anything for 2%. He had an opportunity that he made 100% check match. Pretty cool sounding. Until you go earlier in our webinar where you look at that 95 to 99% failure rate. Folks, 100% of nothing is nothing. So I like to say, don't be a Bill. 6 out of 5 people are math challenged. Think about this. Each and every person who joins you is making money. And I would much rather have 2% of something than 100% of absolutely nothing. That 2%, 6 levels deep, is massive. Let's look at how massive that could be. Okay? And you don't have to wait a month to get paid, folks. It's every week. Now, let's just say, use that, and you've all seen this before on demonstrations, and it is just a demonstration. But let's say you find 5 people who find 5 people ad nauseum. You're paid 6 levels deep. It's only 2%. That can't really add up to anything, can it? Well, it could add up to, in this instance, close to $40,000 a week. It can add up, folks. It does add up. I've been involved for 3.5 months now. It's way adding up. This, combined with a binary, is monster, life-changing income. Now, I didn't touch on this, an additional part of the group earnings, and I know this sounds, kind of high, but when your group does start growing, it will start growing exponentially. And those cycle bonuses that I mentioned, well, when the computer sees you doing that 22 cycles a day for 20 days, they give you a nice little bonus of a 1% profit sharing pool. That's pretty cool. And I mentioned the team builder. Well, they also, for achieving team builder, and you got to do that in your first 60 days, you also are deposited in a 2% company profit sharing, which is pretty cool as well. Now, I want to tell you something. I've been in this industry, as Kelly said, for quite some time. It's never been easier to reach your dreams, folks. I mean, everything you've ever looked at before, even if they say it sells itself, that's not true. If you have to sell and you have to sponsor in order for you to get paid, there's about a 95 to 99% chance you ain't going to make it. You're not going to earn more than you spend, unless you're looking at this. Now, a lot of people like to talk about how stable different companies are. TelexFREE is in a joint venture with Best Western, which is one of the largest hotel chains in the world, on a joint venture for 500 hotels in Brazil. And something that's pretty cool, those hotels aren't going to simply be Best Western. They are going to, on their signage, be Best Western by TelexFREE, or Best Western TelexFREE, however you pronounce TIJUCA. So TelexFREE, companies such as Best Western, they can do a lot more due diligence than you or I or any of us can do. They don't stand next to a company that they have any qualms at all about. There's no upside for them to do that. And this is something, not only something that shows you the stability of TelexFREE, but this is also going to be an investment that is going to be open exclusively to TelexFREE affiliates in this coming October. And I don't know the intricacies of it. I don't pretend to, but what I have heard is that it will be not merely a life-changing opportunity, but the potential for generational wealth. So, folks, what you've got in front of you here is unlike anything you've ever seen before. And I suggest when we're done here, you get back with whomever got you here with a quickness. There is no other opportunities that can possibly compare to TelexFREE, and I don't think you're going to see any others. This is, I believe, the opportunity of the early part of the 21st century. So, for the love of God, don't miss it. And that kind of closes it for me.
That was fantastic. That was excellent. I'm glad everyone got to see a different way of how this is presented. And you got into really good details. And, again, for those of you that are on the call, make sure that you get back to the person who showed you this, because we are changing lives, no doubt. We are getting paid here every week. So with that said, a lot of folks are in Orlando, Florida for the Super Saturday. And can't wait to hear all the new information that's going to come out of there.
No worries, but thank you, everyone, and get back with whomever brought you here, and your life will change.
Hey, Scott Miller, thank you so much today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And thanks, Fred, for everything. And hey, everybody, we'll be back tomorrow. Scott Miller, are you doing the presentation tomorrow at 2 p.m. East Coast?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am.
All right. We will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. East Coast. Okay. Thank you so much, and we look forward to helping each and every one of you in your TelexFREE business. And look forward to, once again, seeing you tomorrow at 2 p.m. East Coast, and talk to you then. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Great job, Scott.